In a peaceful village surrounded by green hills lived two young men named Ethan and Ryan. They were best friends, but they had completely different ideas about success. Ethan believed that success came only through endless hard work. He woke up before sunrise, worked until late at night, and never took breaks. He thought resting was a sign of weakness. Ryan also believed in hard work, but he had a different philosophy. He often said, "Hard work is important, but smart work makes hard work meaningful." One day, the village announced a grand competition. Whoever harvested the largest apple orchard in 7 days would receive a huge cash prize and the opportunity to manage the king's royal orchard. Both Ethan and Ryan eagerly joined the competition. On the first morning, Ethan rushed into the orchard with a heavy basket. He immediately started climbing trees, picking apples as fast as possible. He skipped breakfast, ignored the hot sun, and worked continuously. Ryan, however, spent the first hour observing the orchard. He noticed which trees had the ripest apples, where the baskets could be placed for easy collection, and which paths would save walking time. He even sharpened his picking tools before starting. When Ethan saw Ryan planning instead of working, he laughed. "You'll lose the competition if you waste time thinking," Ethan shouted. Ryan smiled calmly. "I'm not wasting time," he replied. "I'm saving it." As the days passed, Ethan became exhausted. He climbed every tree multiple times because he forgot which ones he had already harvested. Sometimes he dropped apples because his baskets were overloaded. His back ached, and his hands were covered with blisters. Ryan followed his plan carefully. He harvested trees in a systematic order, used smaller baskets to prevent fruit damage, and rested for a few minutes every couple of hours to stay energetic. He even built a simple wooden cart that allowed him to transport several baskets at once instead of carrying them one by one. Villagers began to notice the difference. Ethan looked busy every minute, but Ryan seemed calm and organized. By the fourth day, Ethan had already started making mistakes. In his hurry, he accidentally damaged several branches and spoiled many apples. Ryan, meanwhile, continued improving his methods. He tied ropes between nearby trees to help move baskets quickly. He marked harvested trees with colored ribbons so he would never repeat the same work. On the sixth day, a heavy rainstorm hit the village. Ethan had left many harvested apples scattered across the field. The rain ruined a large portion of them. Ryan had predicted bad weather after watching dark clouds the previous evening. He had already covered his collected apples with waterproof sheets and stored them safely inside a wooden shed. When the final day arrived, everyone gathered to count the harvest. Ethan had worked almost 20 hours every day. Ryan had worked only about 10 hours daily, yet the results surprised everyone. Ryan had harvested nearly 30% more apples, with far fewer damaged fruits. The village chief smiled. "Ethan," he said kindly, "your dedication is admirable, but effort alone is not enough." Then he turned to Ryan. "You planned before acting. You protected your energy. You improved your tools. You solved problems instead of creating them. That is true wisdom." Ryan won the competition. After the ceremony, Ethan approached his friend. "I don't understand," he admitted. "I worked twice as hard as you." Ryan placed a hand on Ethan's shoulder. "You worked harder," he said gently, "but I worked smarter." Seeing Ethan's confusion, Ryan continued. "Imagine two woodcutters. The first chops trees for 10 hours with a dull axe. The second spends 15 minutes sharpening his axe before cutting. Who finishes first?" "The second one," Ethan answered quietly. "Exactly," Ryan smiled. "Planning, learning, organizing, and improving your tools are not signs of laziness. They're part of the work," Ethan nodded thoughtfully. Over the next few months, Ethan changed his habits. Before starting any task, he made a simple plan. He learned new techniques from experienced farmers. He repaired his equipment regularly. He divided large jobs into smaller, manageable tasks. He even started taking short breaks instead of working until complete exhaustion. To his surprise, he became far more productive than ever before. The following year, another harvest competition was announced. This time, Ethan and Ryan worked side by side. They planned together. They shared tools. They created efficient harvesting routes. They divided responsibilities according to their strengths. Their teamwork amazed the entire village. Together, they harvested more apples than anyone had ever collected before. The king himself visited the village. He congratulated both friends and offered them positions as managers of the royal orchards. During the celebration, a young boy asked Ryan, "What is the secret of your success?" Ryan smiled and answered, "Hard work builds strength. Smart work builds success. But when you combine both, nothing becomes impossible." The villagers applauded. From that day onward, schools in the village taught children an important lesson. Working longer doesn't always mean achieving more. Thinking before acting. Learning continuously. Using the right tools. Managing time wisely. And protecting your energy are what truly create outstanding results. Years later, Ethan became one of the most respected orchard managers in the kingdom. Whenever young workers complained about working too hard, he would smile and tell them his own story. "I once believed that success belonged to the busiest person. I was wrong. Success belongs to the person who knows where to place effort, when to improve, and how to make every action count." The lesson spread from village to village until it became a famous saying, "Don't just work hard, work smart." Because hard work without direction is like rowing a boat without knowing where the shore is. But smart work gives every stroke a purpose. And when hard work and smart thinking move together, success becomes not just possible, but inevitable. Moral of the story: success is not about working the longest hours. It is about planning wisely, using the right methods, learning continuously, and making every effort count. Work smart, not just hard.